What do you mean it ain't hot enough? Yeah. What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? Yeah. What do you mean it ain't hot enough? Yeah. What do you mean it ain't spicy? Yeah. What do you mean it ain't hot enough? Yeah. What do you mean it ain't spicy? All right, listen. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start it, and we're gonna take it up because I'm a church kid. So we're gonna just go where we going. Y'all gonna come with us, right? All right. So I'm sorry. What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't hot enough? What do you mean it ain't spicy? What do you mean it ain't
Okay, so y'all already know. Like, I had to lead the show with music. Y'all already know I love a good song. That was my really good friend, Eddie, aka Floyd, who is a phenomenal artist. So look, if you want to hear more about him, his music, how you can support and download, follow him right below and do not hesitate. His music is absolutely a vibe, and what I love is that he uses all of his experiences with excellence to bring you the best music. So y'all already know. What's up, beautiful people? Let's get into it.
She's just a girl from the BK, queening in the Queen City. Welcome to the O Show. Beautiful people, put your hands together for the snap. Oh my goodness, the so amazing.
Get used to the name.
Hey, y'all, Philip.
It's the O Show.
It's the O Show. It's the O Show.
It's the O Show.
O Show. O Show. The O Show.
It's the O Show.
I said it's the O Show. Leading from above, it's the O Show. Flying in like doves, it's the O Show. Leading with love, hey! What's up, beautiful people? O Show here on this amazing day. Listen to me. This is O Show Live 7. Can y'all believe O Show Live 7? That's crazy, right? So in the middle of a pandemic, with everything going on, I am so blessed to still create content that y'all love, that I love, and that I'm super, super proud of. So first things first is I want to say thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for supporting. And you already know I'm married to the game, no prenup, okay? But listen, I would be remiss if I did not name this show after something so important, after something so amazing happened, and it was only right that we had an episode called Lead with Love. That's right, friends. So the O Show Live 7's topic is Lead with Love. So basically, it's no surprise, friends. There is a lot going on with political upheaval, with COVID, with this pandemic, and everything going on from pop culture to politics. Listen, there is a lot on our minds and on our hearts. And in this time, I wanted to create a show that had everything to do with inspiring people to not only lead with love, but give that grace and space to others to learn from us, and also what we can learn from them, okay? Because listen, we do this better together, and ain't no other way but together, okay? So look, You already know how I'm coming. Here at the O Show Live, we lead with love, and that is what I am absolutely committed to. So with the help of some amazing friends, and we're going to get into that, they're going to describe to you how they pulled up Leading with Love, not only in their industries, but in their art, and how they use the community to help build bridges. So y'all, you already know. I'm excited, okay? I am super, super excited. But before we get to the show, you know what I'm saying? I figured I'd show y'all my new cards. Don't play with it, ow. Don't play with it, ow. Okay, yes, that's right. The Lead with Love stickers are ready. If you want one, let me know. And let me tell you, I always had a problem charging for something that God blessed me with. So if you want a Lead with Love sticker, you live in Charlotte, pull up on me wherever I am. I keep them things on me. You hear me? Woo. Okay, friends, so let me tell you something. This first interview, though, is everything, okay? I had the opportunity to speak to Tim Miner from Charlotte is Creative. Look, here's what I need y'all to do. Follow him at CLT is Creative. And it's not just him, it's a collective, him and Matt Olin, who I absolutely adore. But look, pull up on them, see how you can support. What I love is how the platform edifies other artists and community leaders here in the city of Charlotte. So why would I not, okay? Why would I not? But let me tell y'all something. You know we have a tradition here at the O Show where you either Millie Rock or you freestyle, right? All I'm gonna say is each guest definitely brought the energy. And Tim, well, I just gotta say I'm a proud friend, y'all. Get into this interview. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to follow them. And listen, go crazy in the chat below. I wanna hear a lot of your thoughts surrounding this interview and all of them for the remainder of the show. You already know how we come. We build on communities. Hey, yo, Tim, where you at, Tim? Where you at, Tim? Where you at, Tim? What's up, beautiful people? So let me tell y'all something. I am literally with one of my favorite humans, Tim Miner. Hey, Tim.
Heyo, how you doing?
Listen, I am so good. Thank you so much for taking time out your schedule to talk to me, for real.
Oh, come on. You know that all you have to do is ask. You're one of my favorite humans, too.
100%.
So much so that I'm going to do what I don't normally do because I adhere to a strict 90210 Brandon Walsh no dancing policy. But for you?
But today's different, though, Tim.
I'm going to attempt.
And guess what? I'm right here with you. So here on the O Show, everybody knows we have a tradition where we do one of two things. We ask all of our participants to either freestyle using a word, the theme of the show, or a Millie Rock. So let me tell y'all something. My favorite, Tim, is going Millie Rock. Now you're going to get like a solid couple Millie Rocks out of him. All right, so Tim, you ready?
What's the definition of solid?
You know, like, we're just going to give them 4. We're going to do it together. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
Ready? 3, 2.
It's going to be ugly. Yeah, let's go.
3, 2. Hey. Okay.
Hey.
Hey. Yes, Tim.
Oh, man. All right, that bucket list item.
Listen, let me tell you, that made my whole day, y'all. I was telling myself, do you want a freestyle or do you want a Millie Rock? We are with whatever. But listen, y'all, I am so blessed by this man so much. He is truly family. Here in the city of Charlotte, he has, I can't tell y'all how many times, like literally, he has allowed me to be a part of conversations or important work here in Charlotte. And Tim Miner is somebody I really respect. So I'm going to brag about him. He is the co-founder of Charlotte is Creative. They put on Creative Mornings along with my other favorite, Matt Olin. And also The Biscuit, which is an amazing digital publication. I mean, when we say communities and art and all things in between, it is Tim Miner. Tim, you're amazing. You're amazing.
All right, I'm tearing up here. I'm fogging up. My glasses are fogging up a little bit.
Oh my gosh! First of all, usually I'm the one crying, so that's what you get.
That's why we get along so well.
Right.
I mean, and you know, I just before you've even asked a question, like when you say the word allow,
Yeah.
you're not allowed. You have earned your place. You have made your place on any stage, behind any microphone, behind any keyboard in Charlotte. It's not me sharing what I have. It's a privilege to team up and do those things together. And I think that's the great joy of what we do at Charlotte is Creative is I know Matt and I both spent a good portion of our careers kind of working in isolation. You know, you do that thing where you just do your job and you stay in your lane. And when we broke through, it was all about collaborating. It was all about finding people that you respect, that do work that demands attention and a voice that deserves to be heard, and just teaming up and saying, what can we do to be part of that? And you, from the very first time we met, it was just like you were somebody I knew we were going to collaborate with. So.
See, you're not about to make me, no.
I'm not trying. This is not an ESPN, interview where I'm trying to get you to cry. It's just I can't let you say that I've allowed you to do anything. You have graced me with, and Charlotte's Creative with your partnership, and you've earned Charlotte's respect. It has nothing to do with allowance.
Okay, Tim. Okay, Tim. Okay.
I respond well to strong women, so you got my attention now.
All of the favorites at the house. So listen, Tim, you already know. So this O Show Live 7, the theme is Lead with Love. And it's crazy. It was birthed from like a live that I had done. And like, I'm so grateful for the city of Charlotte and everybody just pulling up basically to lead with love. So it's about having those tough conversations in the industries you're in, right? And what you're doing. So what I wanted to ask you, Tim, is how important was it for Charlotte is Creative to be a part of the conversation, the pull up in injustice? I mean, you all have completely just dived right in with artists and all that in between. But how important was that for y'all, especially in this time?
So I think like two answers to that question, because the first one is why, if you ask why is it important that Charlotte's Creative be involved, it's because we said from the very start, when we got going with hosting the Charlotte chapter of Creative Mornings in 2015, from the very beginning, we wanted to lift up and bring greater attention to the diversity of creative in Charlotte. And that's not only skin color or ethnicity or culture. It's the medium in which you're working. It's the age that you have. We've had speakers. Our youngest speaker was 16. Our oldest speaker was, I can't even remember how old, I think in her 70s. So no, sorry, in her 90s.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And so when you say that from the beginning and you say very publicly, we're committed to this, when an incident like what happened with George Floyd happens, you don't have a choice. Like you have to do that. You have to put your money where your mouth is. And there was, as you and I had talked about, just something very different. There are so many tragedies that preceded, right? But something with that Breonna Taylor and then George Floyd, you had to say, this cannot continue, and we have to do what we can, and we're not going to be supporting our fellow creatives if we don't give them a voice, if we don't dive in with them, if we don't ask the tough questions. I think there's a second half though. Whether or not I had Charlotte is Creative to fall back on, everybody has a responsibility to be part of that conversation. Everyone in America. So me as a person, particularly let's be honest, as a middle-aged white male, we can't stay silent anymore. You can't just say, gosh, that's tough. Right. Yeah, I wish that wouldn't happen. You have to get involved. And I think the hardest thing you have to do is, you bring up the word conversation, you have to shut up. We tried very hard to do a lot of listening or giving other people an opportunity to speak, and to really listen, to not just close our mouths, but to actively listen. So yes, as Charlotte is Creative, as an organization, with our board, with our constituents, with the artists that we've lifted up, with the trust they've put in us to tell their stories in the past,
right,
we had to honor that. But as a citizen of Charlotte, as an American, as just a human on this planet, I believe I had to have a responsibility just as an individual to find out what's going on, to really listen, to see, to check myself and say, am I thinking about this situation right? And if not, how do I change? Or yeah, I am, but is it a deep enough discussion? That's what you've done, is let's move beyond the surface. Let's get into it, and let's sit in that uncomfortable space a little bit. And so that's what we try to do.
No, and y'all did an amazing job at it, to be honest. And it's so funny, you're kind of leaning into my question number 2. You said something so good about listening. Everybody can't talk. So what I really wanted to highlight to people is you all completely wrecked your Instagram aesthetic, like literally. And I love how that aspect of listening became digitally, because it was no longer like what you all usually post. It was, here's what we're hearing from the community. Boom, here it is in this square. Here it is in this post, this video, however. how did y'all go about doing that? Was that something that was just like take us into that moment where you're like, you know what, bump all of what we was doing. Let's just go ahead and transition because the community really wants us to listen.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about it was there wasn't a ton of discussion. It just was felt.
Yeah.
We need to do this. So I will say that we had a batch of the biscuit, which is our our weekly newsletter. And at the time we were doing multiple a week, just because during COVID, we were trying to lift up as many creatives as we could.
Yeah.
We had a plan. And when this went down, when it all came out about not only that George Floyd had died, but how it happened and the circumstances around it. And how egregious it was and how avoidable it was and how unnecessary it was. I mean, it's a murder. It's not an accident, right? He was murdered. And so we just decided, all right, whatever we were doing yesterday is not what needs to be talked about today. And no disrespect to the creatives that we were going to lift up in that issue. And so we ended up, William McNeely is a creative in Charlotte that we truly love and truly respect. Coach is just a mentor of mine, and he is a double lung transplant, survivor, and knows a little something about not being able to breathe. And he put up a post on Instagram that was him talking about what it feels like physically to not be able to breathe, but as a Black man in America, also what that feels like.
Right.
And that was more important than anything I had to say, or that Matt had to say, or any of our writers did. So we reached out to him and said, can we just run your Instagram post as the biscuit tomorrow?
Wow.
And he said yes. And again, he trusted us with that. And that meant something to me. But I just didn't feel like my perspective or Matt's mattered in that moment. Our activation around it, our participation in the conversation was necessary, but not our words.
Yeah.
And I feel, and that happened very organically. And then, up to that point, the biscuit had been really kind of jokey. And we have serious content, but we had a lot of jokes and silliness and funny videos that we made just to kind of help the medicine go down. And we stopped that for a while because it just wasn't the right tenor. Not that people don't need to laugh and they don't need levity, but that wasn't the right moment to do that. And so, when you talk about wrecking the aesthetic, that kind of gets to me, right? Because aesthetic is just that. It's surface. It's something that we do to brand ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And that's unnecessary. So I didn't wreck a thing. We just changed the direction of what we were discussing, and it wasn't a wholesale change. Our job is to, as we see it, to lift up creatives and to share their perspective on the world, that perspective that they share through their art and through their creative, medium. And so we just, we didn't get, I wouldn't say super political, we didn't put a lot of, rebroadcast news stories. We just would look at what photographers were doing to chronicle the protests, what illustrators were doing to get their feelings from outside in, what some musicians or poets were doing, and we put that out there, and that was very mission aligned. So I actually don't think anything was wrecked. I think it was just that's what the situation required, and I think it enhanced us,
Yeah.
But that, what you and I talked a lot about that. Like I struggled with, I saw a lot of other brands or other organizations led by, making statements, and I just didn't feel like the world needed to know what this guy's personal commitment was. I wanted to show that by letting other people speak, and I wrestle with that. You and I talked about it, right? Is that a sign of strength, or is that a sign of weakness? Did people need to know where Matt stood, or was it better that we did a lot of listening and we let other people do the talking? And ultimately that's the direction that we went. I don't think I would say that he and I stayed silent, but for those early days, we just felt really strongly that other people be heard.
Yeah. No, and that's one thing, of course, giving flowers, because that's something I always do. Y'all did very well. Because, you know, we talked about this where it was like, Tim, where are all these brands and all these people who, you know, we buy their merchandise, we support this, we show up to their shows. And in this moment, it's like they were missing. And that's one of the many things I admired about how y'all showed up was you didn't change. You stuck to what you did. It was creatives here in Charlotte, and you edified them. And that's what y'all did so well. You didn't get out of that. But even with that being said, Fave, what I wanted to ask you was, how was that time challenging you to have the tough conversations? Because we talked about that as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, just like what we talked about, you have to decide, what am I gonna say? Should I say it? Am I complicit by my silence? Am I filling up? Because we talked about on branding, you know, there were plenty of brands that all you had to do was put up the black square, and then the next day and the day after that really commit to lifting other people up. And how many times do we see that you put the black square up, but in your aesthetic?
right.
Or you had to add words into it, you know? And so that, I don't know that I wrestled with that very much other than to get kind of frustrated, but in the days that followed, you know, you can't help but we've had a commitment to, like I said, highlighting and illuminating and giving opportunities to or facilitating opportunities between a wide array of creatives in Charlotte. But you have to ask, I had to ask, like, and Matt did, like, are we doing it the right way?
Right.
You know, are we imposing too much of ourselves on that? Are we saying, you know, hey, we created this opportunity, but we're putting it in a box because you got to live in here? And those are difficult conversations. As a father, obviously, you know, I had to sit down with my daughters and talk about that. My wife, you know, we've had a lot of conversations about what were our responsibilities as a family, and you know, and were we doing things the right way? And the answers are not always. I think it's easy to go, yeah, I'm doing great. Like, I contribute to church and I wave at people that don't look like me. And I just let that woman over in traffic the other day. And that's just basic kindness. Then you have to say, and it was really, I have to credit my wife, Kim, for really saying, look, we got to look more into being anti-racist and really calling it out, you know, and that's going to lead you to some very interesting places. And I wouldn't say that I'm perfect at it now, but you know, we're learning to see the world with different eyes, and really through that listening to other people, through that active listening, just try to question and not be so fast. And before we say yes or no, or this is good or this is bad, really think about it. Like, how would someone else approach that? What other circumstances do they have? What breaks have I gotten because of where I was born and what I look like, you know? And those are not, you know, especially if those are not fun questions to answer if you have to look back and say, yes, I've worked hard. I think that's an American thing, right? You want to say, I work really hard. Yes, I can look at you and say, I'm a very hard worker. It's not as palatable to say, that said, I'm not here 100% because of my efforts. There's a lot of other factors that help. Yes, once I got there, I worked really hard. But how did I get there? What break did I get in the job interview that I didn't know? Or, you know,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
That is so good. Woo. And it's the honesty, right? And you and I have talked about this, but it's being honest about, okay, where are we? Because to be 100 with you, Tim, you know this, I had to do it, right? Where were my assumptions? Where were things that I always believed? And it opened up a whole new world. I was like, this is wild, you know? And that's the thing, we're not dealing with good or bad people. It's more so, you got to question a lot of things that you believe. And that's what that moment, those times really opened up. So can
I say one more thing? I think too that the thing that's been not difficult, but just is a challenge. Let's call it a challenge. Is we want to, as people, say, what's the thing I can do, and then this is over. And what is settling in? I was just having a conversation with a friend. Is this is a commitment, you know, to a full. This isn't okay. We checked it. Yeah, everybody's good now. Right. This is a change of how you think, act, you know, perceive, and it's never gonna be, for a lot of you, it's never gonna be over. Like, it's a lifelong commitment to trying to do things differently, until we're there, which it's gonna take a long time to get there. And saying this is not this is a lifestyle change, right? This isn't a diet. I'm not gonna like go on through the whole 30 and all of a sudden like racism's cured. This is a commitment to a lifetime of choices and a lifetime of falling down and getting back up again and saying, okay, I can do that better next time. And of realizing that if you do what we're doing right now and you say, here's what I'm doing, I'm going to have people that go, Tim, I heard you say that. I'm checking you on that.
Now I'm checking you. Right. Facts. And that's the pull-up, is you said you would do it. You committed to it. You started it. So now what are we doing? And so I wanted to ask you, when you hear Lead with Love, Tim, like pull up Leading with Love, what does that mean to you?
I think on an easy, first off, you got to be really in tune with your inner voice, right? So much of the world now, particularly in business, is a head decision. It's putting it in a spreadsheet, right? And this, when I hear Lead with Love, and when you say it, I'm thinking of trying to unlearn a lot of what a lifetime in business has taught me, and going back to my mom and dad just saying, if you know what's right, like ignore this and focus on this, and you know what's right. And I think that Lead with Love is also a commitment to not only saying, hey, everybody, I'm trying to do my best, right? Trust me. That's the easy part. That's me getting a pardon. It's trying to remember that other people are doing the same thing, so that you need to weave forgiveness and you need to weave grace into that too. That I have, and that I'm going to tell you, that's my struggle, because I make snap judgments on somebody. That's where this person's coming from. They don't like, and I'm having to learn to go, wait a minute, I want the benefit of the doubt. I want love. I want grace. I want them to say, hey, I'm going to stumble. Can you give me a second? Other people are in the same, every single other person is in the same boat.
Right.
And I have to extend that. So the, leading with love means let's start with that.
Yeah.
Let's start with everybody's got the best intention and work, backwards.
Come on, Tim.
I've learned it from you and my mom and dad.
And mom and dad. We love you, mom and dad. We love you. Yes. No, Tim, seriously. And so, okay, before we go, are there any last words that you have for the amazing community? Any words of encouragement? That's my thing. I love a good word of encouragement, especially in this time with everything going on, pop culture, politics, injustice, you name it. Any words of encouragement you have for the viewers?
I would just say, stop and listen and look around, right? It's pause. We want to move so fast, and this isn't going to be solved on November the 3rd. It's not going to 2020. It's not going to be solved on November the 3rd, 2087, right? This is this is a long process. So really, really listen, and as you said, kind of believe in the better angels, right? But on a Charlotte basis, I am, after spending several years kind of entrenched in the creative community here, I truly believe that creatives will lead the way.
Yeah.
That they are able to communicate the mysteries of the heart and the kind of the nexus point between what people are thinking, what they're feeling, better than anybody through their work. And Charlotte is blessed with an incredible collection of creatives of all colors, all backgrounds, all ages, all disciplines. All the ingredients and all the people that know how to combine those ingredients are here.
Yeah.
We just need to get them together. We need to be approximate to one another. We need to lead with love, like you said, and really see through to people's true intentions. But know that if we're all committed to it, even on the day that it's the hardest, because the last thing I want to do is sound like Pollyanna, like it's all gonna be great. No, it's gonna be hard as hell, right?
Yeah.
Let's run a marathon, not a sprint. There's gonna be good days. There's gonna be bad days. I mean, I get to see it, right? There's plenty of people that say, on the Black Lives Matter mural, for example, there are so many haters that say, on both sides that say, well, what's this mural gonna do? Like it's not changing anything.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no one thing is gonna. There's not one thing.
Right.
There's not a 12-step program. You know, it's a lifelong commitment. But look at things as their intention, and that mural was one way to open up more conversations. And so we'll know its true value, its true importance to the situation years from now.
Yeah.
You know, because of the conversations that it started and where those go. And so just get ready. I guess if there's any advice I've now come all full circle. Just get ready for the long haul. Like settle in, gird your loins, and onward and forward. But it took a lot to get into this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a lot to rectify it.
Yeah. Well, come on, Tim.
I don't know if those are words of wisdom, but that's what came out.
First of all, we needed all the things. I'm a proud friend. I'm
a proud friend of yours too.
Tell the people where they can follow.
Well, if they want to see what we're up to, and more importantly, what the people that we lift up are up to, you just go to on Instagram. It's CLT is creative. That's the same at Twitter, and then our e-newsletter is biscuitclt.com. That's where we put a lot of stories about what Charlotte creatives are up to, videos, podcasts, the whole 9 yards. There's even stuff that O'Have has contributed there. And then we have online and live engagements where we really try to find diamonds in the rough. Well, and not that she's a diamond in the rough at all. Our next speaker at Creative Mornings is Carla Aaron Lopez, and she's gonna blow the roof off.
Y'all got Carla?
Mm-hmm. She will be our speaker at Creative Mornings Charlotte the first Friday of November.
OMG, y'all.
The global theme, and so every Creative Mornings chapter in the world has to find a speaker that will address the topic of radical.
Right.
And ours is Carla, and she's.
Oh, you got the best.
Right?
You got the best person.
She's gonna drop truth bombs.
Beautiful people, Tim Miner. Okay, so if you thought that was good, and if you thought that was an honest discussion, what's crazy is, y'all, as I was editing, I literally was like, I don't know what to keep or I don't know what to edit out because it was all good. So here's one thing that I need y'all to know about the O Show, okay? I keep all of the original videos and audio. I hardly edit because I want y'all to understand it truly is a conversation, and I want to thank Tim so much for pulling up. Okay, so listen, next up we have the impeccable, the beautiful, the savage way herself, Torrie Savage. So let me tell y'all something, okay? This Lead with Love campaign, the clean graffiti, and all of the amazing things happening in Charlotte would not have happened had it not been for Torrie and Paula. So real quick, I wanted to give them their flowers and say thank y'all so much for not only starting this, but also using your artistry to really get the message across to all of the amazing community here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So listen, support their business. If you're in Charlotte, you want to get a message across, and you want to do it in a really cool way. I mean, why would you not want to do it the savage way? Hit up the Savage Way. Torrie and Paula are ready to work, ready to serve, and they are phenomenal at what they do. And also girl power. I mean, support girls in business, right? So look, I had the opportunity to talk to Torrie about how important this Lead with Love campaign is, not just for O'Havia, right, but for our communities, for our world, and also maybe it can start a trend. Let's get into this interview. Hey yo, Torrie. Hey yo, Torrie. Hey yo, Torrie. What's your story, Al? What's up, beautiful people? Okay, so listen, I got one of my favorites here. The impeccable, the very savage, but so beautiful, Torrie Savage. What's up, Torrie?
Hey.
You look so pretty.
Thank you. I got ready for the O Show, duh.
You know? So look, Torrie, we got a tradition here at the O Show. Tim did it. A lot of the guests do it. And I wanted to pass it on to you. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so we have a tradition. You can pick one or the other. So you could Millie rock, or you could do a freestyle, something cute with any word that you choose. So which one you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna keep it in my moves.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
we going Millie rock?
Yeah, we go Millie rock.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. Go, Torrie. Go, Torrie. Go. Yeah.
What did you do? Take it out. I think I've learned this just from watching you. To be honest.
When you put that thing around, I said, oh, I was like a proud mom. Like, oh. Nobody has ever brought it back around, Torrie.
Oh,
You know, they
okay.
do real.
It's the Savage way.
It's the Savage way, the amazing Savage way. But yes, beautiful people, I'm joined by one of my favorites, Torrie Savage from the Savage Way. Torrie, how you feeling today, love?
Girl, so good. So
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Yes. Excited to do this with you.
Yes, oh, me too, me too. So what I'm so blessed to say is, so people are seeing the stickers and the clean graffiti all around Charlotte. And so what I really wanted to do was bring the beautiful face behind all of this. And y'all, it's Torrie. Like, this is the reason right here. So Torrie, I just wanted you to stop by real quick and tell people what was the inspiration behind Lead with Love? Because of course we know it's bigger than Ohavia, it's the message. And so the first question is, what inspired it, and what did you want communities, especially here in Charlotte, to take away from it?
Yeah. So, you know, the Lead with Love is something that Paula and I, and it's not just me, it's Paula, my business partner, Paula.
That's a Paula
Behind
and
this. I know, yeah. So we've always said Lead with Love, and we try to do that in our own lives and, you know, our own business as well. And you know, it's something that always comes back around for us, right? So I met you at a beautiful dinner party. Thank you, Meredith, for bringing us together. But once I met you, you truly just like kind of stood out to me. And then, and you were just this like strong Black woman, right? And then George Floyd happened. And the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement came back up again. And we just really felt like, how do we show up as a business and support this initiative? Like, of getting Black Lives Matter, like, you know, voices amplified out there in the community, right? And so Lead with Love is all is what you say all the time, and what we kind of like always said and then heard it from you and was like, this is great, like, love her. So we made a decision as a company to use our service to amplify a voice in the community, and that beautiful voice is yours. And so it just was like, we don't need to start anything new. We just need to take someone who's already doing the work and doing it so beautifully and like spread your awareness out to bring more people in. So we just wanted to use our medium to amplify your voice. So that's how it kind of came about, you know, and just thinking, what can we do? You know, how do we show up with what we've got working as the Savage Way?
Absolutely. And I just want to say to you, Torrie, and also Paula, honestly, a dynamic duo, friends. I just want to say thank you. You know why? Because it's like standing in solidarity, but also like creating that community that we talk about so often. So that meant a lot to me, for real, for real. And like every time I see it, it's like a surprise to me. I'm like, oh God, there it is.
Yeah. Well, and then like so you do these like amazing decodes, right? And the fact that like you broke it down one time with like the most important word being with, and like that being the way that we're showing up with each other. How do we stand together? How do we collab? And I was just like, how did you even just bring this to the next level like that? That's why the world needs to listen to you. Like, we were just like, oh my gosh, yes. So yeah.
I love y'all. I love y'all. So I wanted to ask you, Torrie, what has been the response from Charlotte and beyond, right? So like, have anybody been hitting y'all back like, here's what we learned, here's the conversations we're having? What have been the responses?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, number one, this has been one of our most popular campaigns to date. I mean, we've been in over 60 some cities in America and worked with huge clients. And like, this has been the most talked about, the most social media, like, you know, everyone wants that content they can put down and have someone else put out on their social media. It's third-party content that you have to create it. You can't pay for it. You got to create it. And then, you know, how do we do that? Right. So, yeah, that happened with you. And this has been so successful. And the biggest thing we see is just people talking about it. We get tagged in the different posts and like what that meant and why we did it. So for us to say, well, as a company, and I tell the same story I just told you, you know, this is why, and follow her and go in. And so it has been just a nice extra layer of conversation of this campaign that's like all around love, all around how we're showing up, you know. And yeah, tons of my friends didn't know who you were, you know, and like it just crossed our, you know, our networks to grow and learn together.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I love, Torrie, was that it gave us like an artistic way to start a lot of the conversations. And that's what I wanted to ask you. So in this time with George Floyd and just everything going on, a lot of the disparities and upheaval going on, what are some conversations that you've been having, and even using the project, the campaign, kind of as like an inspiration? Like, how have you been showing that leadership in love?
You know, I think it's been really prevalent in our office, you know, of like how we're kind of navigating through as a company, like, and being examples of how we're giving back and how we want to show up. You know, I don't know if I have an actual like story of an example. It's just been like this kind of mindset that has taken over for us. And that's where, you know, there has been conversations that get a little icky here and there, but this is like that backbone that made us kind of stand in our way a little bit more. And it's really brought up, like, you don't even know that it's, as a white woman, I don't even know what I didn't know. And now I know so much more. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I love you.
It is. It's been just like, you know, like we just knew we needed to give back and learn and surrender and kind of, you know, so it has been some very interesting conversations, but, you know, all that this helped, you know, like the dialogue be a little bit more fluid with having a Lead with Love message like behind it.
I love that, Torrie. And especially because like sometimes we take things so deep and it really is as small as giving back, right? So it's like what y'all did with this, but also conversations that we've been having. So I'm so grateful because y'all kept it simple, but it's very impactful. So with that said, simple but impactful, what are some other things that the Savage Way is doing to really continue to stand not only in solidarity, but also stay true to yourself as a business? Because that's the thing, like that's what's huge, is that authentic leading.
Yeah, so we kind of dove in and like it was an easy, like we saw you, we knew the message, we knew if we pitched it to you, you would be like, duh, let's go. So our next move is we're thinking about doing this, you know, maybe 3 to 4 times a year with different Black-owned companies in Charlotte. So, and just really helping people amplify their voice, and that's our way of giving back to help raise awareness with them and just kind of cross over our, you know, arts and marketing world, you know, to have this voice carry through and this awareness carry through. So yeah, that's just, I mean, it's right now, that's our plan.
Yeah.
I know we've talked with you about, you know, maybe helping us kind of choose some other people like that. And actually, Tim, if you're having him on the show too, he was going to help us too, because there's some awesome people in Charlotte doing some amazing things that we would love to just stand behind. And yeah.
Well, honestly, Torrie, thank you so much for being the realist. And I think the biggest thing is, if you can tell anybody, right, anything, I don't want to limit it to like race or anything like that, but in this time when people want to have those icky conversations, what is a word of advice that you have for people in this time?
I think something that has come from my experiences is in the moment, I feel I get a little defensive quickly. I don't understand why some people think the way they do.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I just want it to be love and equal and like, I'm just like there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But I have to step back on both sides, being Black or white, and give them love and grace. And you say this, love, grace, and space, or whatever it is, like that. Yeah. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know their experiences. I don't know what they've like been navigating through. And I think the biggest thing for me that I've noticed I need to do is kind of step back and let them have feels and let me have feels. And like, it doesn't have to be all solved like right at once. And like that people are all learning and, you know, and then that's in everything in life, really. Like that, I don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes, and you don't know what it's been to walk in my shoes. And like, right. I want to like navigate with all things like that, you know, like all relationships, business relationships, friendships, whatever, that we need to just give each other some freaking grace, you know? So I think that this message has reminded me of that. And that's been like the blessing for us to like partner with you, is that we get tagged in it almost every day because everyone loves it and they're taking pictures of it. And it's that reminder to like, whew, how are we showing up? How, you know, and like, how can we like lead with love and grace and just, you know, Yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Understatement. You did that. And I love you.
I love you too, so much.
Torrie Savage, everybody. And big ups to Paula as well. I love me some Paula. I love them both, truly. So, Torrie, before we go, though, how can people support you and your business? Is there anything you need me to do? Because you know I'm going to do it because you're my sister. But how can people support you? Where can we follow you? All the things.
Yeah. Okay. At The Savage Way is going to have all of our beautiful posts of moss art and clean graffiti. And I guess just, awareness. Just check us out. We've got a lot of cool, Instagram is where you're going to see the show. And support some women in art and business.
Absolutely. Girl power.
Yeah.
Girl power. I love you, Torrie.
I love you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, love.
Bye.
Okay, beautiful people. Now listen. You listening? But I need you to listen, though. I am so excited about this special guest. When I tell y'all, literally, I had the opportunity to email them, DM them, and ask, listen, if I could just borrow a little bit of your time. You always pull up for the community here, and I just really wanted to talk to you about how important it is to lead with love, especially in such a time as this. But y'all already know I'm super intentional about guests, right? So it's not like I just pull people up that are doing anything. No, these are people who serve. And so to be able to get this person absolutely made my day. All I'm gonna say is they don't need no introduction. Tune in, and yes, it gets good. Let's get it. What's up, beautiful people? I can't tell y'all, I'm really trying so hard not to cry right now. This is my favorite person in the whole wide world. When I tell you, I watch this man's videos at my lowest time, and now I'm at my highest, and I still watch his videos. He keeps me going. Help me and welcome in Dr. Eric Thomas. Dr. Eric Thomas, I'm trying to keep it together.
Don't keep it together. Let's go. Let's keep it authentic.
So let's get it. Okay, Dr. Thomas. So we have a tradition here on the O Show where you could either freestyle or Millie Rock. Okay, before we start. Okay. So which one you want to do? So
I'm a freestyle. You Millie Rock though, real quick. You Millie Rock.
You want me to Millie Rock?
Energy. Yeah, give me some energy.
It go like that. Hey.
But I'm a beast on these streets.
Okay.
Right? When I flow, then I go. I change the world. I'm the light, so I'm bright. So I shine bright like a diamond for all these kids out here that's like rhyming. I'm the next king. You know what I mean? I'm trying to change things. So I use my word to inspire, take people higher. You know what I'm saying? To get through all they go through so they can be the kings and the queens that they inspire to be. It's your boy, E.T. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Booyah! Booyah! Booyah!
Booyah! Now you know, Dr. Thomas, those are my roots. So that booyah.
No questions asked. No questions asked.
Yes.
Yeah. And you be holding out the Espanol too. I see you be holding it down.
You know what I'm saying? Me encanta. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy.
No questions. Clean. Yeah. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Dr. Thomas. But out of respect for your time, listen, I just want to say, I want to publicly honor you, sir. I want to say thank you for being my inspiration. And having you here means so much to me, like for real. So thank you.
Thank you for that energy that you put out. That's what I responded to.
Yes, sir.
You know, I responded to that energy. We are, we the Energizer bunnies. You know, our job is to fuel the world. You know, there are some people who may be like, y'all over the top, but y'all know y'all need us.
With everything going on in the world, Dr. Thomas, from political upheaval, pop culture, and especially in the space that you are in, how you encourage everybody to be the best self. I wanted to ask you, how can we all lead with love, but at the same time continue our self-development?
You know, I think, first of all, you got to kill the noise. You know, it's a lot of noise. And here's what I tell people. You know, people like, yo, what's your take on this? What's your take on that? I'm like, yo, when I wake up in the morning, I can't let what's going on out there disrupt what was supposed to be going on in here today. Right. Like it's going to always be main event stories, but at the same time, I have a center, I have a peace, I have a focus. And so I can't let the things outside of me become the priority. Right. You got to put the mask on yourself first, and then you got to take care of others. You feel me? And I'm going to be real with you. I used to think like, yo, that's so cruel. Why would you not put the mask on the infant first? But what I discovered is that as the adult, if you lose oxygen, you lose the ability or the capabilities to operate at your highest level. That child actually needs you to be at 100% because the child does not have the capacity. Once it gets oxygen, it can't take itself out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't walk off the plane.
Right.
And so I realized, like, yo, you got to take care of yourself first. So in a world where all this stuff is going on, I still need to be centered. I still need to be my best. If I'm a 6, I can't help nobody but a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right.
If I'm a 10, I can help a 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You feel me? So it's like, yo, E, no matter what's going on, it doesn't matter. You have to take care of you first. You have to be at your best. And then once you take care of yourself, then you move out here and you start taking care of these causes. So I would just say to everybody, you know what is your priority, know what's important to you. And then after you take care of you, then boom, from there, you make your moves. And I'm gonna be real. I just got off the phone with a school, was able not only to pour into the kids, but even pour money into the school. Why? Because I'm taking care of. So 15, 20 years ago, I would have only been able to give them information. Now I can get them information and I can get them economy. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, let's go. The O Show. Yeah, no questions asked. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir. Listen, that's all I wanted to ask you. And I just want to say thank you for your time. And I want to talk
thank you. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. I know that, you have energy, but you have to be careful because there are energy drainers. There are things in the world that when it sees energy, it laps on that energy, tries to suck that energy. So for those of you who are like me, we have to be careful of the relationships, the company we keep, because a dead battery can't charge a dead battery, right? So we got to be careful of the relationships. We have to be careful of the environments we take ourselves to. There are certain environments that will just suck up energy, and we have to be careful that we take care of ourselves, right? Because when you on blaze, you bringing that blaze to us. Yeah. When you depressed or down and out, you're not bringing us that same energy. Right? It's not coming off the same way, right? So be you. Don't let nobody tell you too energetic, you too this, you too that. Hey, and keep doing the upside dancing when you got your shoes on the wall, doing your thing. You feel me? Keep doing your thing, girl. Keep doing your thing. Much love, much respect. And once this COVID is over, man, I hope to, hit a stage or something together where we bringing that energy to the people. They might not even be able to handle us in the same room.
We might blow it up, Dr. Thomas.
They might not be able to handle us in the same room, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. Take care of yourself. Congrats to you. The show looks amazing. I've seen your growth in terms of in front of the camera. I'm seeing the professionalism. Not that you need it, but I'm seeing it. Keep transforming, keep growing, and just know I'm in the background looking at you and cheering you on. Let's continue to energize the world, y'all. Let's go. We fueling them, girl. We fuel America. Let's keep fueling America.
Okay, beautiful people. So this is the part of the show that I love, but I hate all at the same time because y'all already know I love y'all so much. I hate ending the O shows. But listen, we gotta go so we can come back and continue to keep this fire burning. So listen, beautiful people, follow me at Ohavia Phillips, at the O Show Live. You already know I follow and DM back. And I just want to say thank y'all so much for not only supporting, but also pulling up where you are in what you do and with your portion. And y'all already know this about me. I've said it on day 1 and I will say it on day 100 and 1,000. Yeah. All right. Now's the time more than ever for us to lead with love. Why do we do that, friends? Because at the end of the day, people have different experiences. People have seen different things. And now's not the time to drag anybody for what they've seen or the things that they've experienced. But instead, now's the time for us to come together, lead with love, give that grace and that space to not only learn, but unlearn a lot of things, okay? So listen, do away with your assumptions, do away with your bias, do away with your neutralities. We don't want anybody that's lukewarm. Make a decision, stick to it, support those who are supporting the cause, support those who've been pulling up in communities, and let's get to this good work. Continue to pull up, continue to show up, and let's do this together. I am Ohavia Phillips, and this is the O Show. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Hey, yo, take us out.
I'm the reason that you had to turn your love on. I'm the reason that you told that nigga hold on. I'm the reason that you told that nigga I'm gone. I'm the reason, baby. I be the reason, baby. I'm the reason that you had to turn your phone off. I'm the reason that you cut that other dude off. Stick with me, baby, you won't ever fall off. Stay by my side. I wanna be with you all day. I'll be smiling around you always. No games, baby, I don't play. I know how you like foreplay. I wanna be with you all day. I smile when you come my way. Kiss once and I hit replay. Ain't going nowhere, baby, yeah, yeah. Look at where we started. We've been down from the jump, yeah. Now nigga poppin'. Now nigga poppin'. And I got us from here, baby. You know how we rockin'. I give all my love to you. And if I risk it all, you'll be the reason, baby. I risk it all, you'll be the reason, baby. Yeah, yeah. You're the reason that I cut up all my old hoes. You're the reason that I let them other hoes know that you my baby and me leaving is a no-no. You're the reason, baby. You'll be the reason, baby. You the reason that I started seeing love flow. You are the reason that I got up on my church floor. When we hug and I feel it all in my soul. Stay by my side. I wanna be with you all day. I be smiling around you always. No games, baby, I don't play. I know how you like foreplay. I wanna be with you all day. I smile when you come my way. Kiss once and I hit replay. I ain't going nowhere, baby. Yeah, yeah.
Look at where we started.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been down from the jump, yeah. Now nigga poppin'.
Nigga poppin'.
Now nigga poppin'. And I got us from here, baby.
I give all my love to you. If I risk it all, you'll be the reason, baby. I risk it all, you'll be the reason, baby. My love ain't going nowhere. My love ain't going nowhere. My heart ain't going nowhere. I give you love and it's staying right here. I give my love and I ain't going nowhere. My love ain't going nowhere. My soul ain't going nowhere. My mind ain't going nowhere. I put my foot in the ground right here. I put my foot in the ground right here. My soul ain't going nowhere. My mind ain't going nowhere. I put my foot in the ground right here. I put my foot in the ground right here. My soul ain't going nowhere. My mind ain't going nowhere. My soul ain't going nowhere. My mind ain't going nowhere. My heart ain't going nowhere. My heart ain't going nowhere. I told you ain't going nowhere. My love ain't going nowhere. My love ain't going nowhere. My soul ain't